Good evening and welcome. You're watching 6 p.m. Prime with me, Pooja Shali. That shocker story coming in from Hyderabad, not only about the couple's life that was destroyed, but also the audacity of the killer to be attempting this stabbing on a busy street in the high-tech city. Let's begin first with the headlines. The Bharatiya Janata Party claims Congress's Telangana president admits that lady with Rahul Gandhi in the Kathmandu nightclub is a Chinese ambassador. TRS takes a drug jibe at Rahul Gandhi, puts up the white challenge poster. Stalin corpse are under lens in the custodial death case. Victim Vignesh's autopsy report reveals chilling details of injuries and fractures. STSP panel levels the murder charge. In the same state of Tamil Nadu, the ban on Patana Pravesam has sparked outrage. The seer who threatened to carry out the banned ritual now is claiming threats to his life. BJP State Chief Annamalai guns for the Stalin government. After 12 days behind bars, Member of Parliament Navneet Rana is released finally. Admitted though in the Leelavati hospital in Mumbai, Navneet's husband Ravi Rana walks out of jail with Hanuman Chalisa held in his hand. Khalistani terror plot busted in Haryana. Explosives and weapons recovered from 4 terrorists accused linked to the Babbar Khalsa International Terror Group and Pakistan-based terrorist Rinda. It's a huge controversy over Kunal Kamra's meme on the child who sang a patriotic song to Prime Minister Modi in Germany. Boy's father lashes out at the comedian. Kamra says, "Keep my son out of your filthy jokes." The horrific murder of a man in Hyderabad city. According to the cops, woman Sultana's family was against her marriage with Nagraj and then eventually killed him on a busy street. The police have now arrested 2 accused. Take a look now at these shocking videos that got recorded of the brutal stabbing. Absolutely a horrific story.
An interfaith couple pays a heavy price for love. Nagraj, who married Sultana 2 months back, is brutally stabbed to death in front of his wife in public. 2 spine-chilling videos reveal the true horror of the Hyderabad murder. In the first video, an assailant, suspected to be Sultana's relative, can be seen charging at Nagraj with a sharp object. Sultana tries to stop the attacker, and Nagraj is seen lying in a pool of blood. In another video, Nagraj, who was on a bike, is stopped and murdered in front of many people who stood there like mere spectators. Nagraj's family alleges Sultana's relatives, who were unhappy with her marriage, are behind the killing. Telangana police says Sultana's brother killed Nagraj as he was upset over the interfaith marriage that was held against her family's wishes. Sultana's brother and another accused have been arrested on charges of murder.
Inaki accused A1 Mobin Ahmed ki sister toti love affair undi. Vallu childhood nunchi vallu first school lo classmates unnaru. Tarvata kuda vallu chadulo they studied together. So atla their love affair continued. But it seems that the girls' family members they were against it. Within 24 hours, ఈ కేసులో మనము అరెస్ట్ చేసినాము.
The BJP has called for the arrest of everyone involved in the planning and execution of the murder plot.
पूरी गहराई से इस मर्डर केस के ऊपर इंक्वायरी हो और जितने लोग इस मर्डर केस में इन्वॉल्व हैं सभी के सभी लोग अरेस्ट करें.
Nobody from this anti-lynching lobby is ready to open their mouth and break their secular chuppi. Nobody is holding up placards. Nobody is returning awards because this happened in Hyderabad and because the victim's caste and the religion of the aggressor is inconvenient to speak about.
अगर कोई मुस्लिम को हिंदू लोग मार देते, क्या वो ऐसी चुप बैठता? क्या वो ऐसी बात नहीं करता था? तो आज वो सेक्युलरिज्म क्या हुआ, वो डेमोक्रेसी के बारे में जो बार बार बात करता, वो आज क्यों चुप रहे?
The gruesome murder in Hyderabad has once again brought to fore the divisions in society, even in this age and century. With Ashish Pandey in Hyderabad, Bureau Report, India Today.
So here's what we know so far in this horrific hate crime in the Hyderabad city. Now, Sultana's brother killed Nagraj, according to the cops who have just about a short while ago conducted a press conference. Now, what does that mean? In the background, that Sultana's family did not like the man here in question, Nagraj. The family was against this interfaith marriage that had just been about 2 months ago, but they had known each other for many years before this. According to the police personnel, Sultana's brother planned the murder, and then, as those visuals have emerged both from the CCTV and some mobile footage, that he was attacked relentlessly with an iron rod and stabbed with a sharp butcher knife. Remember, it was a stabbing that eventually led to his death, and the murderer did not even stop after that. Let's go across now to my colleague Ashish, who's joining me live on this telecast from Hyderabad. Now, every time I look at that visual, Ashish, that you've also accessed and verified, is how the audacity of that man to come and kill another on the busy street while the wife is pleading to him. Many are seen stopping. Eventually, we see some people trying to stop the murderer, but by then, the crime has been done.
Pooja, it's a tragic end of a love story, we can call it. Since childhood, both Nagraj and our wife, they're in love. Since childhood, they wanted to get married. In 10th class also, they have to 10th class also, they continued studying in the same school, and further also they continued studying together, ensuring that they remain in relationship. And further, Nagraj approached to the girl's family. He tried convincing them for the marriage. When they refused, finally on 31st of January this year, both Nagraj and they got married, and clearly they were living happily. They never thought that they'll face such kind of threat. They are facing such kind of threat. It's the brother who was against the marriage, and finally he followed. He has the conspiracy. He, along with another relative, finally stopped the couple at a red light.
Where does the investigation stand at this point, Ashish? How many people have the Hyderabad police taken into arrest? How are they following the investigation here on?
So far, Hyderabad police, they have arrested 2 persons. They are investigating it further. They are gathering more and more evidence. So far, it looks like that the crime, this horrific murder, was only executed by 2 persons, including brother of the girl. But they are not ruling out involvement of other person. They are gathering more and more evidence. But yes, right now, police has arrested 2 persons, including the brother of the girl. One ACP rank officer, a senior officer, is investigating the case. He is monitoring, supervising the investigation. Police personnel, senior police officer confirmed that they will ensure fast-track justice in the case.
Why has the lens of this murder, the radar for the police, come under the wife's family? Why are they suspecting that it's her family, possibly, that could have conspired and planned this murder? And is that the same statement, an allegation coming in from the boy's family as well?
Yes, Pooja. So just after the horrific murder, Sultana's, the wife's statement was taken by the police. Relative of boy, they also reached to the spot, and they also said that they suspect the role of girl's family behind the murder. Girl, who was eyewitness of this murder, she identified few of the accused. Initially, she informed to the cop that almost 4 to 5 persons came and stopped their bike, and they attacked her husband. But so far, police has only established involvement of 2 persons, including brother of the girl, and they both have been arrested. But police is not ruling out involvement of other persons in the case. They'll be gathering more and more evidence. They'll be collecting more data, more investigation, and they are ensuring that the justice take a fast track route and everything comes fast track.
Ashish, I do have an added question here, which is, we're talking about literally two families destroyed, in the sense clearly of the man's family who've lost their son, who was only in love and decided to marry her, but also that young woman who, we see her pleading and clearly trying to ask the murderer, who's on this vengeful stabbing spree. Her life also has been destroyed in so many ways just for getting married to the man she loved, a young woman, only 23 years old. Do tell us about this area where this incident has taken place, because this is right outside the Tehsildar office. So it must be clearly an official site. It must be a busy road. Do tell us about that location of the crime scene.
You're absolutely right, Pooja. Like the visual also show and reveal the horrific murder. It clearly shows that the entire murder, entire hacking, brutal killing took place on a busy road.
Ashish, I will just stop you there. As we were talking about how this is a big tragedy for that young woman, Sultana has spoken out. Nagraj's wife, the main eyewitness to this horrific crime, has spoken up, and she has said, this is very important, 5 people came, apprehended us, stopped us on the street. They attacked my husband in front of me despite my repeated requests and pleas. I kept begging them to stop, but they continued to kill this man. Bystanders are also trying to stop these killers. According to Sultana, she's saying there were bystanders who tried to stop the killers, but yet they did not stop, eventually leading to the death of the young man, Nagraj. Listen in now to what Sultana has to say.
నడి రోడ్ మీద నారాజ్కి 5 మందికి వచ్చింది సిగ్నల్ దగ్గర మా అన్న ఒకటి తెలుసు అందరు కాలు మొక్కలు ఇప్పుడు పబ్లిక్ ఎందుకు వచ్చింది
చేయాలి బేటా
పబ్లిక్ ఎందుకు వచ్చింది
పబ్లిక్ వచ్చే టైంలో వస్తారు బేటా ఎవరి పానం వాళ్ళకే తీపి వాళ్ళ పానం వాళ్ళ కొడతారా
చూడడానికి వస్తున్నారు కళ్ళ ముందు చంపేస్తే కళ్ళు కనిపించవా ఈ ప్రపంచానికి కళ్ళు లేవా ఈ ప్రపంచానికి కళ్ళు లేవా వాళ్ళు 5 మంది సిగ్నల్ దగ్గర అడవులకు కూడా చంపలేదు సిగ్నల్ దగ్గర అందరు కాలు మొక్కి నువ్వు పట్టుకొని నా రాజుతో చెప్పకుండా నేను చచ్చిపోతే నాకు ఈరోజు బాధ ఉండకుంటుండే నా రాజు మీద పడినా నాకు దెబ్బలు తగలాలని ఒక 5 మందిలో నాకు ఒకటి దుబ్బేస్తున్నాడు నాకు అంత బలం లేదు ఇంకొకటి కొడుతున్నాడు రాజు బాధితో రాడ్లు ఇంత దొడ్డు రాడ్లు మొత్తం నెత్తి హెల్మెట్ ఉంది మొత్తం నెత్తి మొత్తం పళ్ళగొట్టేసిండు నా ఇంట్లో రాజుకి ఇట్లా మా అమ్మ చాలాకి రాజని రాజుకి నేను ఫ్రెండ్లీ చేసుకోను రాజు వేరే వాళ్ళని కూడా చేసుకొని నీకు మోసం చేయను బ్రతుకున్నాను రోజులు ఎట్లనే ఉంటే ఎప్పటి ఫ్రెండ్లీ చేసుకున్నాను కూడా అన్న రాజుకి నేను చచ్చిపోతాను చావైనా బ్రతికైనా నీతోనే 10 years నుంచి తెలుసు కానీ ఇప్పుడు పెళ్లి కాక 2 months ముందు 2 months మాట్లాడలేదు నేను ఇట్లనే ప్రాణం పోతున్నాను.
Let's go across to my colleague Ashish, who's been tracking all the latest from Hyderabad. Ashish can only imagine what this young woman must be facing to watch her own husband be murdered so brutally like this. And, it's very clear that, this has clearly taken a toll on her. But as of now, she's also making it clear that it was her family that was against this marriage and they had been threatening her, and that is what it appears. But the fact and the question here is, how did these 5 killers know that they were traveling on this bike on the road? Clearly they were being intercepted. Somebody knew that they were going to take this route for them to suddenly stop them on the street. Isn't that, Ashish?
Yes, that's what when we asked about these persons knowing the timing and the couple coming out from their house in Saroornagar police station jurisdiction, DCP LB Nagar explained that actually the brother along with another conspirator who is also a accused number 2 in the case, they were continuously following the couple from past few days. They knew that this particular couple is living in a rented accommodation under Saroornagar police station jurisdiction. They were continuously following, they were doing recce, and finally after completing all the recce, yesterday night at 9 PM when the couple was out for certain walk, they were stopped at the busy junction, they were hacked to death. What is more shocking here is that Sultana, while crying in this bite, says, Pooja, that they kept assaulting her husband, and he was wearing helmet That
Yes.
was also broken, but they kept assaulting. In spite of her pleading, in spite of her cry, they kept assaulting her husband, and finally he was dead.
Spine-chilling, blood-curdling, goosebumps. There's no other way to describe, and we can only imagine what that woman is facing. Ashish, please stay on with us. And I want viewers to listen in again to what this young woman, who only married for love, has to say now.
వాళ్ళు 5 మంది సిగ్నల్ దగ్గర కాలిపోతున్న రాత్రి నడి రోడ్ మీద నా రాత్రి 5 మందికి వచ్చిండ్రు సిగ్నల్ దగ్గర మా అన్న ఒకటి తెలుసు అందరు కాలు మొక్కలేదు పబ్లిక్ ఎందుకు వచ్చింది
చేయాలి బేటా
పబ్లిక్ ఎందుకు వచ్చింది
పబ్లిక్ వచ్చే టైంలో వస్తారు బేటా ఎవరి పానం వాళ్ళకే తీపి వాళ్ళ పానం వాళ్ళ కొడతారా
భాష చూడడానికి వస్తున్నారు కళ్ళ ముందు చంపేస్తే కళ్ళు కనిపించవా ఈ ప్రపంచానికి కళ్ళు లేవా ఈ ప్రపంచానికి కళ్ళు లేవా వాళ్ళు 5 మంది సిగ్నల్ దగ్గర అడవులకు కూడా చంపలేదు సిగ్నల్ దగ్గర అందరు కాలు ముఖ్యంగా పట్టుకొని నా రాజుతో చెప్పకుండా నేను చచ్చిపోతే నాకు ఈరోజు బాధ ఉండకుంటుండే నా రాజు మీద పడినా నాకు దెబ్బలు తగలాలని ఒక 5 మందిలో నాకు ఒకటి దుబ్బేస్తున్నాడు నాకు అంత బలం లేదు ఇంకొకటి కొడుతున్నాడు రాజు బాధిపో రాడ్లు ఇంకా దొడ్డు రాడ్లు మొత్తం నెత్తి హెల్మెట్ ఉంది మొత్తం నెత్తి మొత్తం పళ్ళగొట్టేసిండు నా ఇంట్లో రాజుకి ఇట్లా మా అన్న చాలాకి రాజుకి నేను పెళ్లి చేసుకొని రాజు వేరే వాళ్ళని కూడా చేసుకొని నీకు మోసం చేయను బ్రతుకున్నాను రోజులు ఎట్లనే ఉంటే ఎప్పటి పెళ్లి చేసుకున్నాను కూడా అన్న రాజుకి నేను చచ్చిపోతాను చావైనా బ్రతికైనా నీతోనే 10 years నుంచి తెలుసు కానీ ఇప్పుడు పెళ్లి కాక 2 months ముందు 2 months మాట్లాడలేదు నేను ఇట్లనే ప్రాణం పోతుంది.
So these are some of the men on your screens right now who are now being accused of having killed Nagraj. 2 also have been taken into arrest. We only hope now that the cops in Hyderabad will ensure these men are behind bars and will be there for a long time with strictest punishment to what they did to a young couple. Let's go across now to Tamil Nadu. Stalin's government is under fire over an alleged custodial death of a 25-year-old Vignesh. The autopsy report of Vignesh has now been accessed by India Today and has shocking details and raising the heat on Chennai police. The autopsy report states Vignesh suffered 13 serious injuries, including injuries on the back, lower right forearm and the shoulder. The post-mortem reveals Vignesh's bones were fractured. There was a deep injury above the left eye. The Chennai police, according to their side, is claiming Vignesh had a seizure on the 19th of April while he was having his breakfast. He was taken to the hospital but was declared brought dead. But there is a CCTV video that has now emerged from the streets in Chennai. This is of Vignesh. Take a look at this visual. Surfacing in this video in which 2 cops are seen chasing him. The CCTV footage shows he's then beaten for a while, held by the collar and then gets taken away by the police. Next, the information comes he has died. Police has stated that Vignesh and his friend Suresh caused a ruckus, that Vignesh even used a knife to attack the cops on duty, after which he was then taken into arrest. But Vignesh's family is alleging police tried to bribe them with 1 lakh rupees to hush the matter. But the National SC/ST Commission has now slammed the police on this custodial death case and have leveled murder charges against the cops. The question again comes to the top door of the Tamil Nadu government. Will the Chief Minister, Stalin, break his silence and do a crackdown on these killer cops?
நான் வந்து சவாரி இவங்க யாருன்னு தெரியாது நான் வேற சவாரி போய் ரிட்டர்ன் வந்திருக்கேன் சார் பக்கத்துலேயே இவனு என்ன பண்ணிட்டாங்க இவன் ஒரு கத்தி வச்சிருந்தான் அந்த கத்தி எடுத்து டேபிளில் வச்சுட்டான் அந்த ஜிப்சி மேலே வச்ச உடனே இது எதுக்குலான்னாங்க நான் குதிரை ஓட்டுறவன் குதிரை லாடுறதுக்கு இதை கட் பண்ணணும் அப்படின்னு வச்சிருந்தேன் அப்படின்னா அதுக்கப்புறம் அவனை அடிக்க ஆரம்பிச்சாங்க இன்னொரு போலீஸ்கார் வந்தார் அவனை சர மாதிரியே அடிச்சாரு அன்னைக்கு நைட்டு 2:50க்கு ஸ்டேஷன் கூப்பிட்டு போகிறாங்க ஸ்டேஷன் கூப்பிட்டு போயிட்டு 3:15 தான் என்னை கீழே இறக்குறாங்க அவங்க 2 பேரும் லாக்கப்பில் போட்டாங்க.
நான் வீட்டில் குளிச்சுட்டு இருந்தேன் மேடம். குளிச்சுட்டு இருக்கும்போது எங்களை வந்து முதல்ல கதவு தட்டினாங்க. நான் குளிச்சுட்டு வரேன்னும் போது டேய் வெளியே வாடா அப்படின்னு சொல்லி அந்த மேடம் மிரட்டி எங்களை இட்டு போனாங்க. இட்டுன்னு போய் என்ன மேடம் நான் தவறு பண்ணேன்னு கேட்டதுக்கு ஒரு சின்ன விசாரணை தாண்டா ஒன்றும் இல்லைடா சொல்லி இட்டு போனாங்க. இட்டுன்னு போயிட்டு அங்கே இன்னொரு தம்பி எங்கே காட்டுன்னு சொன்னாங்க. தேடி பார்த்தாங்க அந்த இன்னொரு தம்பி இல்லை. நேராக என்ன பண்ணாங்க பட்டினிப்பாங்க ஸ்டேஷனுக்கு இட்டுன்னு போனாங்க. ரஞ்சித்ன்றவர் என் தம்பி வேலை பார்க்குறாருல குதிரை வேலை அவர் வந்து இன்ஸ்பெக்டர் ஃபோன் பண்ணி ரஞ்சித்துக்கு ஃபோன் பண்ணி இந்த மாதிரி சொல்லு,
இந்த இன்ஸ்பெக்டர்
மோகன் அவர் வந்து சொல்லினாரு. அவர் ஃபோனில் தான் பண்ணி இந்த மாதிரி வந்து சொல்லு அப்படின்னு சொல்லவோ அவர் வந்து சொல்றாரு என்கிட்ட, ஆனது ஆகி போச்சுடா, அவன் தம்பி இந்த மாதிரி இறந்துட்டான், நான் வந்து அதை சாவி எடுக்கிறதுக்கு அடக்கம் பண்ணுறதுக்கு ஒரு நான் ஒரு பைசா நான் அமௌண்ட் கொடுக்க சொல்கிறேன் அப்படின்னு நினச்சி நான் அந்த காசு ஓகே அப்படின்னு சொல்லிட்டு வாங்கினேன். 20,000 ரூபாய் கேட்டேன் மேடம் என் தம்பியை அடக்கம் பண்ணுறதுக்கு.
அந்த நைட்டில் 2 பேரும் வந்துக்கிறாங்க. வர போலீஸ்காரங்க மணிக்கு என்னத்துக்கு வந்தீங்க இந்த ஏரியாவுக்கு ஆன்னு கேட்டாங்க. கேட்டுட்டு இங்கே திருட வந்தீங்களான்ட்டு பிடிச்சிருக்குறாங்க. பிடிச்ச உடனே அது சரியான அடி அடிச்சிருக்கிறாங்க போட்டு. அவன் விக்னேஷ் எல்லாம் கஸ்டடிக்கு தூக்கி இருக்கிறாங்க. அவன் அந்த மூச்சு திணறி இறந்துட்டாங்க. என் பையனை பார்த்தது இன்னைக்கு தான் சார். நான் 18ஆம் தேதிக்கு அப்புறமா இன்னைக்கு.
We are getting more updates meanwhile from Hyderabad. Remember that shocking story of a couple's life completely destroyed, and now Nagraj's wife Sultana has spoken out, making it clear as the main eyewitness. 5 people came, apprehended us, attacked my husband relentlessly in front of me despite my cries and pleas. She's also saying in fact that there were some bystanders, some people who tried to stop the killers, but they did not stop. Listen in to what very clearly a heartbroken Sultana says.
నడి రోడ్ మీద నారాజ్కి 5 మందికి వచ్చింది. సిగ్నల్ దగ్గర మా అన్న వచ్చారు. అందరు కాలు మొక్కలు అయితే పబ్లిక్ ఎందుకు వచ్చింది?
చేయాలి బేటా.
పబ్లిక్ ఎందుకు వచ్చింది?
పబ్లిక్ వచ్చే టైంలో వస్తారు బేటా. ఎవరి పానం వాళ్ళకే తీపి, వాళ్ళ పానం వాళ్ళ కొడతారు.
మనిషి చూడడానికి వస్తున్నారు. కళ్ళ ముందు చంపేస్తే కళ్ళు కనిపించవా? ఈ ప్రపంచానికి కళ్ళు లేవా? ఈ ప్రపంచానికి కళ్ళు లేవా? వాళ్ళు 5 మంది సిగ్నల్ దగ్గర అడవులకు కూడా చంపలేదు. సిగ్నల్ దగ్గర అందరు కాలు ముఖ్యంగా పట్టుకొని నా రాజుతో చెప్పకుండా నేను చచ్చిపోతే నాకు ఈరోజు బాధ ఉండకుంటుండే, నా రాజు మీద పడినా నాకు దెబ్బలు తగ్గాలని. ఒక 5 మందిలో నాకు ఒకటి దుబ్బేస్తున్నాడు, నాకు అంత బలం లేదు. ఇంకొకటి కొడుతున్నాడు. రాజు బావి రాడ్లు, ఇంకా దొడ్డు రాడ్లు మొత్తం నెత్తి హెల్మెట్ ఉంది, మొత్తం నెత్తి మొత్తం పళ్ళగొట్టేసిండు. నా ఇంట్లో రాజుకి ఇట్లా మా అమ్మ చాలకి రాజని రాజుకి నేను పెళ్లి చేసుకోను, రాజు వేరే వాళ్ళని కూడా చేసుకొని నీకు మోసం చేయను, బ్రతుకున్నాను రోజులు ఎట్లనే ఉంటే ఎప్పటిని పెళ్లి చేసుకున్నాను కూడా అన్న రాజుకి. నేను చచ్చిపోతాను, చావైనా బ్రతికైనా నీతోనే. 10 years నుంచి తెలుసు, కానీ ఇప్పుడు పెళ్లి కాక 2 months ముందు 2 months మాట్లాడలేదు నేను. ఇట్లనే ప్రాణం పోతుంది.
Imagine the condition of this young woman, only getting married to a man she loved and decided to live her life not bothering anyone. But this man on your screen in the blue shirt stops them, intercepts them with 4 other men and goes on a stabbing spree. Take a look of how Sultana just a few hours ago was pleading, crying, asking for her husband to be spared. But she's making it clear that it was her family that had threatened her for a very long time and killed her. I want our viewers to again take a look at these 2 visuals. Remember, on one side, the young woman Sultana trying to battle that man with a rod in his hand. The audacity of this man to go on a killing spree, to kill Nagraj on a busy street, and now, left alone, she can only try to put forth what she saw. This is what Sultana has said. 5 men, clearly with threats coming in from her family, but refused to stop killing her husband despite her plea. These are the men on your screen. Sultana's brother, one of the main accused of killing Nagraj, the young man. Other 4 men whose photographs have also now been revealed. According to the cops, 2 specifically have been taken into arrest. It will be pertinent that Hyderabad police sets an example of how these young men could not bear one of their community's girls, their family girls, to go ahead and marry the man she loved. And look at how he refuses to stop despite that woman pleading. And as it appears by then, tragically, as we continue to look at that visual, it appears that the man is no more. And yet he continues to go on the stabbing and killing spree. We are told there was an iron rod, there was a machete with which he went on this killing spree. Now, important to understand, how did these 5 men know where this couple was? Listen in to how Sultana describes that they were stopped by 5 men on the road.
నా ఇంట్లో రాజ్కి ఇట్లా మా అమ్మ చాలా రాజని రాజ్కి నేను ఫ్రెండ్లీ చేసుకొని 5 మందికి వచ్చింది సిగ్నల్ దగ్గర మా అన్న ఒకటి తెలుసు అందరు కాళ్ళు మొక్కలైతే పబ్లిక్ ఎందుకు వచ్చింది
చేయాలి బేటా
పబ్లిక్ ఎందుకు వచ్చింది
పబ్లిక్ వచ్చే టైంలో వస్తారు బేటా ఎవరి పానం వాళ్ళకే తీపి వాళ్ళ పానం వాళ్ళ కొడతారా
చూడడానికి వస్తున్నారు కళ్ళ ముందు చంపేస్తే కళ్ళు కనిపించవా ఈ ప్రపంచానికి కళ్ళు లేవా ఈ ప్రపంచానికి కళ్ళు లేవా వాళ్ళు 5 మంది సిగ్నల్ దగ్గర అడవులు కూడా చంపలేదు సిగ్నల్ దగ్గర అందరు కాళ్ళు మొక్కి నువ్వు పట్టుకొని నా రాజుతో చెప్పకుండా నేను చచ్చిపోతే నాకు ఈరోజు బాధ ఉండకుంటుండే నా రాజు మీద పడినా నాకు దెబ్బలు తగ్గాలని ఒక 5 మందిలో నాకు ఒకటి దుబ్బేస్తున్నాడు నాకు అంత బలం లేదు ఇంకొకటి కొడుతున్నాడు రాజు బాధ రాడ్లు ఇంకా దొడ్డు రాడ్లు మొత్తం నెత్తి హెల్మెట్ ఉంది మొత్తం నెత్తి మొత్తం పళ్ళగొట్టేసిండు నా ఇంట్లో రాజుకి ఇట్లా మా అమ్మ చాలా రాజని రాజుకి నేను ఫ్రెండ్లీ చేసుకొని రాజు వేరే వాళ్ళని కూడా చేసుకొని నీకు మోసం చేయను బ్రతుకున్నాను ఎట్లనే ఉంటే ఎప్పటిని ఫ్రెండ్లీ చేసుకున్నాను కూడా అన్న రాజుకి నేను చచ్చిపోతాను చావైనా బ్రతికైనా నీతోనే 10 years నుంచి తెలుసు కానీ ఇప్పుడు పెళ్లి కాక 2 months ముందు 2 months మాట్లాడలేదు నేను
Let's go across quickly to my colleague in Hyderabad, Ashish, who's been tracking all the latest on that. Ashish, do tell us this as we listen to what she's saying. We also have the images of at least 5 young men. One of them, the brother of the girl. How many have the cops arrested? Are others absconding? Where are the other 4 men? Why have all 5 young men not been taken behind bars right away?
So far, police investigation has revealed only involvement of 2 persons. CCTV footage has also established involvement of 2 persons. Based on all those footages and preliminary investigation, police has arrested accused number 1, who is the brother of the girl, and accused number 2 also. In the case, the police is also confirming us that they further widen up the investigation and they will make other more arrests in your near coming days if a role of other suspects also get established. Definitely they are going to act and they are going to arrest all of them.
Let me go across now to Zeenat Shokatali, a social rights activist, joining me right now for further details on this. Zeenat, I have no words. It makes me so angry to watch another woman with such a heartbroken situation for her only because she chose to marry and because her family did not like an interfaith marriage. What do you think cops need to do in this case?
I think it's a sick thinking. It's a sick, you know, the entire thinking is so sick and it's condemnable, deplorable that you kill a man with rods. What is the meaning of this kind of behavior? You see, there has to be some strong action taken by the community to condemn it and by the government. You cannot go killing people just because they're in love. Love has, you know, love does not ask you what is the religion of the person. And what business is it of anybody else when there is a law in this country that you can marry whom you choose? You know, what is this love jihad business either way that goes on? And I think, you know, this is really, it's a shame. It's a shameful act. It's an act of shame. And this poor girl, you know, my sympathies for her, that her loss of her husband who has been murdered in this manner. And all the people involved, I think there has to be a thorough investigation. And the matter has to be taken at hand. And Pooja, you know, there's one more thing I want to say. That
Please
this must go either way. You know, either community is behaving in this manner is intolerable. You see, you cannot go murdering people.
Yes.
You know, I mean, this is a cold-blooded murder. And this person, all those people involved in it have to be serially punished.
Absolutely. This is irrespective of which community. The fact is there are people deciding on the behalf of this woman and not just deciding here, killing the man they do not like. Zeenat, how do you think society that is watching, and I'm sure intelligent viewers who are watching this telecast right now, this is not a modern, civilized society reacting?
Absolutely. This is uncivilized. It is not so civilized. It is a very far away word. It is totally barbaric and it is uncivilized. Does anybody take rods and murder a person in public like that? This is barbarous. Things are not done like that. Even animals don't behave like this. So, you know, the whole point is that how long is this going to go on? And how long are these divisions going to go on? And you're going to dictate to women, you know, whom they should marry, whom they should not marry, when there is a law in this country that is prevailing. And this nonsensical kind of behavior has to be totally condemned and deplored. And besides that, there has to be very strong action taken.
So glad, Zeenat, that you're taking such strong words on this, because there cannot be any soft references here in this case. This could set an example if action is not taken today itself. But Zeenat, how do you think right now this also reflects on the fact of whether it's men or women in families, in communities, they are deciding that not only we are not happy with this marriage, we'll get the other person killed.
You see, this is the whole thing. As long as they are not brought to books and there is not a fast-track court, that operates and sends them straight to the gallows, this is not going to stop either way. So cutting across communities, there is a law in this country, there is a special marriage act, there is a law in this country that gives you permission to marry when you are an adult and nobody can obstruct you. And least of all, say that there is some objection either way. Is this the way to behave barbarously and go murdering people on the street? This is cold-blooded murder. What else is it? So I
How
think,
do you think,
I'm using the strongest terminology because I'm feeling that way, Pooja.
Absolutely, and I feel what you're saying. I feel as a young woman myself, to marry someone out of choice that we want to, feel for, and we are not bothering anyone, and to watch another young woman be witnessing her husband's murder like this. Can't even imagine what she must be going through, pleading for her husband to be saved, and then to, watch this happen. And, if as a viewer, as a news anchor, if you're feeling it, I cannot even imagine what that 23-year-old woman must be feeling. How do you think the society and the government needs to come together, support this woman, ensure that she's not feeling alone at this point, Zeenat?
Absolutely. The government, the people, the community, and civil society have to stand by her. Give her the fullest courage, and fill her with her own dignity. These kind of barbaric acts are going to be not only condemned verbally, but they are going to see the face of punishment that they deserve. There's nothing else that they deserve except this kind of punishment that they have, given somebody else.
Just one more question, Zeenat, because when I look at these young men going around killing another man because they're not happy with a girl in the family getting married like that, isn't it also about how these young men are being raised to be told it's okay to go and kill a man if the sister or a daughter has got married like that? The man also looks clearly within his 20s.
You're absolutely, Pooja, on the dot. Any form of, lynching, catching hold of people without the rule of law. There is a law in this country. We are living in a secular democracy which has a rule of law. Where is the rule of law going? Which way is it heading? What we have to see to it that the rule of law is brought properly into existence, strictly into existence, and no taking so much time. There has to be fast-track courts to decide this.
Absolutely. I think it's very important. I think it's very important this time an example needs to be set. Otherwise, this could become a precedent for many other women. Take a look at that young woman currently describing how she had to watch her husband be killed on the streets in a high-tech city, in the city of Nawabs, Hyderabad, and perhaps other governments and other cops also need to ensure this does not get repeated. Prime Minister Narendra Modi returned to India, but a controversy has erupted over his visit in Germany, and that has been raked up by comic Kunal Kamra's meme on Prime Minister Modi's Europe visit. Now, Kamra put out a video of a child, Ashutosh, in Berlin singing from Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Now, while the boy is clearly happily singing a patriotic song, Kamra edited that video, the original video, on Mehengai song and made it into a meme using that boy. Now, the boy's father has lashed out at Kunal Kamra, and he's the father of 7-year-old, and Ashutosh's father has responded to Kunal Kamra on social media site Twitter and has said, I quote him here, "He is my 7-year-old son who wanted to sing this song for his beloved motherland. Though he is still very young, but certainly he loves his country more than you, Mr. Kamra, or Kachra, whatever you are. Keep the poor boy out of your filthy politics and try to work on your poor jokes," unquote. Very strong words, remember, and with the reaction coming in of the father who's objecting to how a meme has been made in poor taste, using his child who was just singing a patriotic song to Prime Minister Narendra Modi in Berlin. Now, India Today spoke to the father of the kid. Shiv Arur had a conversation with him. This is an exclusive interaction to try and understand what the father thought when he saw a meme being made in poor taste of his child by comedian Kunal Kamra. Listen in.
We saw your tweet, Ganesh. You are clearly very angry about what Kunal Kamra has tweeted of that video of your son which had gone viral.
Yeah, definitely I can say, like, whose permission he took before morphing or modifying my son video. That's the first question I like to ask him. Like, few people might be saying it's a comedy, so comedy cannot be done with the kids. Okay, he's still not knowing what he's doing. You know, it's something like which is coming from his heart. Okay, so he's very small kid, you know. So he might not be understood what something like problem he has created for by the Kamra. My first question to Kamra: who has given him the rights to make some kind of modification?
When you saw this video that Kunal Kamra has tweeted, Ganesh, you know, clearly your emotions showed in the way you reacted. What kind of action? Are you expecting an apology from Kunal Kamra? Because, you know, usually the sense is it's comedy, you know, it's satire, nothing is sacred, you can do what you want. But you are the father of this little boy. So your anger cannot be questioned in this.
Actually, I can say one thing. Hati chale bazar, kutte bhauke hazar. Okay. So I'm just, you know, trying to prove his location, like, wow, where he is, like, what is his level, like, he's a bloody dog, okay? So that's the only thing. I'm just thinking about some legal procedures. How can I take this action against him? But I will let you know my further course of action later on.
So you're saying that you want to consider legal action against Kunal Kamra. He's a big comedian in India. As you probably know, he has over 2 million followers. All of the things that he tweets go hugely viral. And you're saying that you want to take him on legally, or you want to consider that?
I'm just considering that, actually.
Does little Ashutosh know about what is happening, or is he too young? You want to keep him away from this?
Yeah, I just want to try to keep him away from this. I want to give him always some better things, not some kind of negative thoughts or negative things to him. Always show him some bright future.
You know, because all of us, Ganesh, all of us saw that beautiful video of young Ashutosh singing for the Prime Minister. You know, that video has gone viral. It's one of the most shared videos online as well. When that happened, you know, did you think that given that Prime Minister Modi, whenever he is abroad on such foreign trips, he frequently comes under attack, you know, for many things. In India is a vibrant democracy, attacks will always happen, many of them can be legitimate attacks. But did you think something like this would happen involving the video of your son? Were you nervous somewhere ki ye ho sakta hai?
I haven't given a thought. Like, I always think about betterment. Okay. So we haven't thought like the Prime Minister Narendra Modi might have put this link or just put this things on social media. So it's not something like for the publicity we are doing. Like my son also don't know what is Facebook, what is Twitter. So he really like these kind of songs. So when I explain him the meaning, I personally like this song. Many times I'm listening this song, and when you listen or just understand the meaning, the tears will definitely going to come from the eyes of any patriotic person. So when I explain him the meaning, he also fall in love with that song, and he prepared this song on his own. So, you know, he is not understanding the Devanagari font, and this particular song is mainly written to Devanagari. But just by listening, he prepared this complete song. It's not only these specific 3 or 4 lines. He knows this particular complete song, start to end, and he used to sing many times whenever he is in a mood. So it's his favorite song. It's not just for, you know, Prime Minister Modi. It will remain for his lifelong journey, I can say.